Hey everyone, we've returned to Rocktopia to do a little bit of Calypso Codex hunting and these dumbbell workouts as they're called. But every time we come here, I like to start out first, kind of, or at least during the week sometime, do a little bit of this tree harvesting. And that's just so that we can backfill a bunch of the skills that we don't get normally. The geology goes into the mining, and so like we're able to work up our mining a little bit without mining, which is good because mining is kind of expensive. And so hopefully we won't have as bad of losses when we first start, which we have started mining a little bit. And I feel that we didn't do that horribly compared to what I've heard a lot of people talk about. And I'm going to attribute it to the amount of tree cutting we've done that kind of backfilled us, and the dailies on Cyrene. That helped out too. We won't negate that. But this allows you to get a bunch of the looter skills for animal and mutant looting mostly. But a few of the skills also cross over into a robot, mainly the analysis. But we'll get analysis out here. It's actually like the one of the faster gaining skills from tree cutting. We'll get zoology. We'll get biology. We'll get some alertness. Um, we'll also get some athletics, which will go towards our evader level a little bit. And so we're going to build up a small smattering of professions that are worth having built up, right? It's always nice to dodge more attacks. So that's a bonus. Getting more loot, that's a bonus. And then we're going to get a bunch of the resource gathering skill, right? Because that's the main skill with the tool. And so maybe one day we'll have a pretty high level in this. Maybe they'll build something into the profession other than backfilling looter skills. And getting that gardening up, it gives you botany. And then what was there's one for the mutant um, genetics, which does not go up as fast as the other skills. See, there's a little bit of biology for us. And this is not as packed as I normally see it. I think someone else is finally utilizing this a little more. Oh, the dexterity. I forgot about that one. That's also a looter skill. I believe on all three. Sorry, there's a bunch of big areas in here. We start here, we're going to go all the way across, and then we'll jump up here. And if that's still full, then we could jump down here. And then there's one over here somewhere, if I recall, as well. But we'll just kind of see how that goes for us. The skill gains are going really nice. And they kind of always do a little bit, although the amount of points you get on biology and whatnot once you get up in the 3-4,000 zone, which we're not at the 4,000 zone obviously yet, but as soon as you get up in the 3,000 zone, it really starts to slow down a little bit. You know, 5 points an hour type zone on a level 1 tool. Oh, and our intelligence is going to go up. Who doesn't like being smarter? But that's also a looter stat, I guess. I mean, it's not really a skill, but it says it goes into the looting 2%. And so it'd be nice to work that up. over 100 at some point. We're not really close on that one either. But every time we do this, we're a little closer. You see we get 0.003001 um, periodically while we're out here. And that's effectively 3/10,000ths, I think is where the math breaks down. And so obviously you need a lot of those to go up a point, but stats go up really slowly anyway. And so we're just shooting to get our intelligence to 100 one day. Obviously higher would be better, but it goes up slow enough that I feel that's a reasonable goal. And I'm only wearing the armor for the reload bonus that it confers. Because I've had a couple of people ask about that in the past. The Mayhem armor I think gives like a 3% or something, or 1% with the amount of pieces I have on. Obviously the tinfoil hat is the reload hat. Not the best one. I haven't bought one of those superior ones yet. Um, just the normal. The regular one. I guess it's the one in the middle at this point, since there's a flimsy one and a superior one. But yeah, this will boost our looter level up a few percent. And it's still the cheapest way to boost that up in pet value. If it was just time value, I'm not real sure. If you're just trying to bump it out as fast as possible, I assume you just hunt really big stuff for big skinning and butchering gains or whatnot. Or whichever, looting profession you're trying to actually work up. There's that alertness I was talking about. That goes up pretty slowly, um, but it's pretty cheap if you ever need to kind of boost that up as a lagging skill. There's that analysis. You see how it's still a nice chunk, and our analysis is actually higher than our other skills at this point. Well, our other looter skills outside the main one is really what I meant with that statement. And this is the only spot we kind of got to be careful, where we're just trying to make sure that we don't get too close to these vampires. That's a huge tree. We'll have to use our level 3 tool on that one. That way we can slowly kind of grab up the boards we're going to need to do that. Uh, it's a basic butt joint 500 crafting mission on Tolan, but it gives a coloring reward, and so I thought we would stockpile a little bit and try and do that when we go do that end of the month event at some point. Since that's obviously going to take us probably the rest of the year, maybe more. It's going pretty slow for us, but oh, there's that genetics. You see, that was a bigger skill. That's because our skill is definitely much lower in that one, like I stated a little bit ago. And the skilling definitely goes a little bit faster with the level 3 tool versus the level 1. And so I guess if you were trying to really crank it out, you would just use the biggest skill pill you have and grab the biggest tool. I guess you can find level 4 ones. They're a little pricey and sometimes hard to track down, but I've came across them before. And using those would really rip out some skill. The level 3 tool's 10 peck, and I think the level 4 is 50 peck, but I'm not 100% sure. I remember it was expensive and it went kind of quickly, but I had a ton of boards at the end. No, it was good because you don't get very many huge trees, and with the level 3 tool, you're only pulling one board each time. And with the level 4 tool, it's like using a level 2 or 3 tool on the level 1 trees where you get a handful of boards per pull. And so that's what you get if you track down that level 4 tool. Like we would be getting 4 or 5 boards each pull instead of the one. Circle around and grab this other huge tree back here we saw. And they left us a bunch of huge trees today, it looks like. We're not going to complain about that. We need a bunch of those boards. It's 500 boards per time we want to do that little coloring mission on Tolan. And so we're going to have to stockpile, I don't know, a few thousand at some point. Or at least get a few thousand, even if it's not all at once. I'd like to get that skill up a little bit. Oh, there we go. That was a nice pull. I'm not in a big hurry to get it up, but it'd be nice. Plus, we get some furniture crafty skills from making that basic butt joint. And it's the one I like to use to pop furniture blueprints. Although I think we popped most of the ones that aren't rare on Tolan. But we were using it on Cyrene to pop those plushes that you need to craft or buy for the plate upgrade quests. I forgot the perception. That's a looter skill for all of them. I'm really sure about mutant and animal, and I'm pretty sure about the robot. I think our perception's across the board, like the analysis. And so we're slowly working up our animal, and slightly slower than that, we're working up our mutant. And then behind that, we're still working up our robot looting a smidgen. And so it's worth kind of popping that skill bill and taking the time periodically to backfill those skills. Again, they say 0.07% extra loot per level, and we're getting about 2%, 2 to 3% of a level for every 20 pad or so of tools we run through ourselves, which is a cost of, at 90% returns, about 2 pad. And so it's pretty reasonable. And I've heard some of the other people claim you actually get 95% returns on the long haul on tree cutting. I don't track it to that degree. I know that often enough I get in the 90% zone and or break even, and then pretty rarely it'll drop down to that 80% zone for a run or so. But the amount of skills I get, I feel makes up for it, even on the losing 4 ped, which would be an 80% run. Well, that's one tool down. It kind of looks like we might not get into that fourth tool. The other nice thing about coming out and doing this tree cutting is it'll allow us to do a crafting run later, since we can recycle the wood shavings into those nanocubes now that they've moved them into the recycle tab over just being able to buy them. Which hopefully helps the hunter economy. Hopefully more of their loot gets bought up at that, at least some markup. We do so little crafting that we can just take a little bit of the loot that we would normally trade terminal or try to sell for low markup to someone and just recycle it and use it for what we need. Because we are still trying to get that unlock on that crafter. It's just not a top priority. It's really expensive to kind of work that up on the long haul, and we don't make very much progress um, on the EP1. In addition to, it's still a whole 4 levels, I think, before that unlock, and so we're pretty far out. But it's nice to kind of run those components and blueprints, and I think that's kind of where the EP1's kind of thrown in with, judging from the number of components we generate from it. And just see, sometimes you get uh, a blueprint that's pretty rare to get off that blueprint, but it's not impossible. And I think we had that happen a week or two ago on Cyrene, where we popped one of the Cyrene specific blueprints after running that EP for a fairly long time on Cyrene. Um, just because like I said, it's cheap. I like to use it as a skill, and we'll pop blueprints plus 4 levels and counting. But back to the task at hand. It takes about 15-20 minutes to break one of these tools, depending on how thick the trees are. Although at some point here, we'll have to switch to level 3 tools and get some of these large boards in order to do that crafting session on Tolan, in which they don't have an amazing tree area. It's good, but as soon as there's more than 1 or 2 people trying to gather trees, it can be tough, we'll say. It might be about time to go across the road here. We'll see, there's a small smattering here we'll hit up first. It is always nice when they're clustered pretty close together. That way most of the time you're skilling and less time running between trees, right? I'm always impressed by the sheer amount of skills you get on even at just a single tool, especially in the beginning. It's just like a sea of skill gain. It's a sea of green because I have my skill set to green. I do get excited at the analysis because it's tree cutting and I think scanning, and I don't know how else you get analysis. And the scanning is definitely much slower than what we've got going on here. With the tools we were using, right? These are both just trade terminal tools. And since if you can get a tool that spends a lot more, you can skill it a lot faster. And so I don't know what the perfect scanner is to kind of work that stuff up. But I should try and find that out so I can work my xenobiology up a little better. It's pretty slow to work up as a skill. And so we're trying to figure out a way to kind of give it a nudge. Because sometimes you gotta give things a nudge. They want to do it, but they just need that little push to to get on the path. And so it's just so slow that it's hard to dedicate time to scanning because you're just running around scanning stuff for an hour on a skill pill, trying to work that up, and then you get like 3 or 4 points maybe. And so we'll have to try and figure out maybe a better method to that madness we got going on. I'm gonna jump across the road here. We'll avoid the vampires over here as well. And just like that, we're back at it. Oh, there's one back there we need to hit too. Yeah, we can break 3 or 4 tools um, on one of those hour skill pills, and so that's what we try to do here. Um, we should probably track down some more of those level 3 tools so we can kind of speed it along. Use one of those mega skill pills we get out of one of those stronghold boxes. But the trees are a little more sparse today. We'll only get those 3 tools in that hour probably. But we've got a few reasonable pulls. All right. But we're about to break that second tool, it looks like. What's that put us at? Yeah, about 20. Oh, right there it is. So it's taken us a little under 20 minutes a tool today. And again, I think that's just because the trees are a little more spread out, which likely means that someone's been utilizing this area, um, at least today or yesterday within a few hours. It repopulates pretty quickly. But we keep getting this botany skill, and so I'm kind of excited to see what they finally do with that gardening profession and the plot deeds that went with the Calypso land deeds. Some of them got redeemed for plot deeds. Some of them are literally have like an ethereal, like a plot deed, like you do for the Arcadia Underground deeds and stuff. And so I'm not sure. They obviously want to go somewhere with it, and I don't know if they've kind of thought of a direction, and that's why they have those out there, or if it was just a compensation thing for when they moved everything onto the exchange. Um, Speaking about the Calypso land deeds, now they're land deed shares, or I think is what people are calling them. But if you had any of the original deeds that weren't the already claimed ones with the X, they gave you a plot deed when they did the migration over. And so even if they're not working on it, they at least plan to work on it at some point, it seems. I mean, who knows how long that is? They plan to work on space for a long time too, and we see how that's going. Well, this was kind of a long way to run around to get around these vampires. Maybe I should have went the other direction. It's alright, we're already in now. Onward. Yeah, you're definitely not getting this amount of skill on 2-ped anywhere else. That's my theory. Now, that being said, I don't think I'd want to do this all day, every day. It's nice in bursts where you're working on getting more loot in the other activities you're doing so that you can come close to breaking even or slow your losses or, whatever your game plan is. Oh, that was a nice one. 30 pack is a 15 times multiplier. And we won't make amazing progress on our looter skill, or sorry, our looter profession today. It'll be like 1% maybe. Um, but nothing else I do is actually going to boost it 1% in an hour, or even half a percent, honestly. I guess if I did a really big hunt, maybe, but that gets expensive. Again, we're going to spend 2 ped probably. We'll see how much boards we have at the end, but 2 ped's pretty common. Although it'd be a little hard to tease it out since we used that level 3 tool on all of those huge trees today. So it'll actually look a little better than it is from the tree shavings that we get. Oh, let's grab this huge tree. And then we'll go back and finish breaking that other tool. And we'll kind of circle back over there. I saw another huge tree and whatnot. We'll want to grab that, along with all the skills that that little row of trees has for us. Well, there's a little bit of zoology. I hadn't seen it kind of pop up for us yet. It looks like a couple of huge trees in a row. Nice. Oh, that's way over there. That's not what I wanted. There's the other one. I thought I saw two before. So we did that just to free up our weight there. In which we were starting to be overburdened a little bit, and so we just took a bunch of the boards, threw them in the trunk, so to speak, of our hover car there, and then parked our car, and then sent it back to storage so that we don't have to worry about finding it again. So we'll get partway into this last tool. Looks like only about 5 minutes worth, but and so it varies a little bit, but you do get, as you can see, we got a fair amount of skills. Here's our skills. I mean, that's hard to be sad about. Someone can be sad about it, but it's not going to be me. We'll hit this large one, then we'll hit the small one, and then we'll hit that huge one. And then we should be styling, I think. Super happy with the amount of huge trees we found out here today, though. Oh, well, that's going to wrap up our skill pill. And so we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day. Stay epic.